That's right, another edition of the Rated RR podcast. Rish Roshan Rai together with Ziaul Raushan. We've got two very special guests lined up. But right before that, I want to talk about the recently concluded AFC Under 23 championships that took place at Jalan Besar. I enjoyed watching the action with fans, and I'm pleased to see almost 1,000 fans showed up for every single match day. Rosh, I know you enjoyed the action as well. What were your thoughts on the tournament?
Yeah, this is a real test of a pundit, right? And his nerve, the ability to give his honest analysis and opinion with the guests listening on. Listen, we spoke about this with Philip on a couple of our episodes ago, and I remember at the time as well saying that I think Philip, looking at the group, second place is something that's realistic and is achievable. So I think in that regard, I think they sort of met my personal expectations. But I was a bit surprised at the result against Timor Leste. I thought that was perhaps an opportunity to really pick up 3 points in that game against a side who, there were doubts about in terms of age, cheating and whatnot. But we really, I thought, were better than them. And this is overall a team that I'm encouraged by moving forward. I think, we've spoken about all this all season. We've got talented young players coming through. So I think there were some positives. The final game against South Korea was a real wake-up call, and I think it's a good experience for these guys to see what it's like came up against that real elite level of teams in Asia. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the guys have to say about this and whether they agree or disagree.
That's exactly right. Talented youngsters that are part of the makeup of that squad, right? And without further ado, let's introduce both our special guests today. Joel Chew, also known as Iniesta, as well as captain of the team, Jacob Mahler. Jacob, Joel, thank you so much for joining us. Jacob, we'll come to you first. What have you guys been up to since the end of the qualifiers?
I mean, now, I guess we just checked out yesterday, Monday, getting back, spending time with family, and all that, friends. Just, taking a little bit of time off from football. I think, after 10 days in a hotel and then 3 games in under 2 days each consecutively, it takes a toll on the body and the mind, and it's time to rest a bit. Of course, for me, I guess there's the national team duty still. So yeah, I guess just take a short break and then just trying to relax first and unwind and reflect on the tournament itself.
And Joel, what about you? How have you spent your time since checking out the hotel?
Mostly spending time with my family. Like Jacob said, 10 days in the hotel, you kind of get, not say bored, but like you don't really see much sunlight, especially when we're in a bubble. So like we're kind of in the hotel room like 24/7. So it's good to get out finally. And yeah, it's about time we got some time off football, because it's been a very long season in itself, from the SPL and the extension to the AFC. Yeah. So
yeah, you guys are quite lucky. I'm very, very envious. The only ones in the whole country. I mean, you guys and the SPL players, of course, who actually get to play football. Jacob, you've heard my sort of overall analysis of the campaign. I want to get your thoughts. What were your thoughts on the team's overall performance over the 3 matches?
Now, like you said, like obviously, we came into the group, obviously seeded second. Everyone saw the group. Okay, we had South Korea. We could say top of Asia football. And we had like Timor Leste and Philippines. Well, of course, still credible sides, but sides where, when you think about it, we should be getting 3 points or at least putting up a good fight. And obviously coming to the first game, I think we can't make excuses for the result. It was disappointing for sure. Everyone was disappointed. Coaches, players, fans. Against this, like we should be winning. And I think in the game we dominated the game for, I guess, most parts of the game. Of course, mistakes happen, and it's disappointing, of course. And I think it really, when you start a tournament, you want to start off right. It's the most important thing. The first game, get off onto a good start, and it will set the tone for the campaign. Yeah. And obviously the draw, I think, deflated a bit the boys, but I think we picked it up in the second game, and obviously, against South Korea, they are world class. And it's amazing to watch them play. I talked to Joel and Coach Philip after the game. How the South Koreans play, that's how we aspire to play. Exactly, whatever they did on the field that day, it's how we want to play. But they can do it 10 times better than us. And that's the harsh truth. You know, we need to reach that level. And I guess the only way to reach that level is through experience, through gaining, playing this type of opponents. And you know, I would say that the lack of international games over the past 2 years for us definitely took a toll. The level of SPL and international games are two completely different things. And you know, the squad is made out of a few youngsters, young players who have never really played in this level yet. You know, of course, you play in your youth levels, under 16, under 18, all that. But when you come to under 23, that's men's football already. So, you know, the international level is a different stage, and everyone got a taste to it. And I think that lack of experience showed a bit, you know. And but I think overall, you know, the boys gave a good show. You know, we played the style of football we wanted to play. But of course, I think all of us knew that we could have done a lot better. So,
Jacob, I was going to actually ask you guys this a little bit later on in the show, but since you brought up South Korea, I think I'll ask you this now. And you know, I've had myself experiences playing against like Japanese and Korean teams in like the Champions League, and for me, it's like, wow, this is just happening so quickly. And you think you're going to close down, and the guy pops it off to someone else, or they take a heavy first touch to try and draw you into a press and then play it around you. I mean, what was it like for you guys on the pitch? You know, what was your experience like playing against this Korea Republic team?
Well, you know, you could see all of them are like copy paste. I would say all of them have the same physique, same body. You know, all of them phenomenal. Like they're all top players. They are well built. Everything. You know, they're fast. They're strong. Everything. And for me as a centre back, I've never played against a striker who kept touching me the whole game. Yeah. He kept pinning me. He kept trying to, you know, pin me down, try to hold me and all that. I've never come against a striker who has ever done that to me. And that's such a new experience for me. And it opens my mind up to how I should defend better in this situation and all that. So I've learned so much. And I mean, like I say, for a fan like yourself and all those watching, you know, you could see how they dominated us. You know, it's not something we can hide about. They dominated us, and they dominate every team. Yeah, you know, in the group, it's how they play, and the way they play is just it's just like I said, how we want to play. Exactly the same philosophy and everything. So yeah.
Joel, what was it like for you watching on the bench first half and then jumping in the second?
I was probably out of all the 3 games, I was probably the most nervous, even though that was like probably the least pressure out of all the 3, because you know you're going up, you know what you're going up against, especially the defending champions of the own competition itself. So when actually there was a time where Saifullah got injured and had to be stretchered off, and I was called to warm up. So I didn't expect to come on so early in that sense. So I was kind of nervous, but thankfully Saifullah was okay to carry on. So it gave me a bit more time to prepare like mentally before coming on. So yeah, but when I came on, they were just different class. Like Jacob said, from when we see them in the hotel, you can just see like all of them were just like laser focused. They were never like they were just like, how to say, very professional about everything. So from off the pitch, you can see like they were ready anytime. So yeah, and for me, I think they were just like that bit stronger, that bit quicker in everything. So yeah, that's like Jacob said, that's what we aspire to be, and hopefully we will get there one day. Yeah.
Joel, we've spoken a lot, Joel, about the Koreans, but I want to look at the tournament as a whole. From outside looking in, to us at least, it looked like you had a very good tournament, an impressive tournament. Would you agree with that?
I don't really judge my own performances. So
I think Roshan did it for you on Twitter.
I
think Jacob just said you did phenomenally, right?
Exactly.
Is that what you said, Jacob?
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
Nah. It's just being nice. Yeah, but there were definitely parts I think where we did very well as a team, and to be able to, especially the first game, I think it was, how to say, a tough result on us, because I think we all think that we deserved that win in the sense that we dominated a majority of the game. So personally, I think I guess I had a decent tournament. I would hope, and I think the support from the fans just showed like how Singapore football is on the up. Like not many people would. It's been a while since I played international football, and the support for the whole 3 matches was insane, even when we were losing. Yeah.
Would you then think playing at home was a help to the team, or almost a hindrance in that sense where there's pressure? I know the fan support is phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but as a player, I want to know, does that add more pressure? Joel first, then we come to Jacob.
I think it adds good pressure in the sense that to like against Timor Leste, like I think the fans pushed us all the way. So like it pushed us internally to never give up. So even though we were losing, you can see that we just kept going and kept going, and finally got the equalizer. So so I think there's pros to cons to everything. So I think like the pros outweighs the cons in playing on home soil, because your loved ones could be there, and you know, like you just want to do everybody proud that's going down there to support you. Yeah.
Jacob, what's your take on that?
No, I 100% agree with Joel. Like, there's obviously your pros where, you know, your familiar territory. You know the, of course, you know, the temperature and all that type of stuff. You know, Singapore is so humid, so you know you could take that into consideration, of course. And you know, you're playing on Jalan Besar and AstroTurf. I think not many countries do that. Probably in Korea, they all play on natural grass. Philippines, I'm pretty sure most of them is AstroTurf. I mean, I'm quite sure. But and then Timor Leste, I mean, I don't know about that, but you know, you could say there's pros and cons, but obviously, I think for us, you know, obviously we knew when it was at home, we have to prove ourselves as well, because you know everyone wants us to do well. The expectation is there as well. I think people expect more, especially when it's at home, because you know people will be watching, coming down to the stadium and all that type of stuff. And especially with the group we had, I think there's a lot of expectation and a lot of people making a lot of noise about it, and they wanted us to do well. So I think, of course, there's an added pressure, but I think, you know, with regards to football, you know, if there's no pressure, then, you know, then like what is football? You know, everything is about pressure, you know, and how you deal with it, and you use the pressure to motivate yourself and to do better. So I think it was good to play at home. It was nice. It was a very nice feeling.
I think it's interesting to me because I wanted to get your thoughts on this, both of you guys, because for me, when I used to play, I didn't really like the sort of waiting for kickoff, that sort of build up. I feel like there's a lot of nervous energy for me personally when I play, and that sort of would affect me at times. But once the game goes on, then you're into your sort of element. I don't know if you guys feel the same, Joel and Jacob. Do you guys feel that way, or do you feel a little bit more relaxed and confident, you know, in your abilities and what's going to happen? Joel, why don't we start with you first?
I think for me personally, I think like over the years I've learned to not like stress myself as much. But yeah, it's always that moment, like especially in the tunnel, like before walking out. That's like when you feel the most nerves, I think, because it's like when you know like everybody's gonna be watching you, and that like the moment of reality hits. Like So, but once I start to brush it off, like I would just think like, why be nervous? Just go out there and like enjoy the game. So because I think a little bit of nerve is good, but once you get too nervous, you'll like overthink your actions on the field, and so I'll just try to keep myself as calm as possible.
I feel like I used to have a bit of that problem at times when you start to overthink even the simple things, like, you know, first touch, and then naturally you can do it, but then if you're nervous, you overthink it, suddenly your first touch becomes like Lukaku.
Hopefully he's not listening.
Hopefully he's not listening, because he's an incredible player. I'm just kidding about that. Jacob, I saw you nodding along, man. What's your take on it?
No, like Joel said, you know, obviously the waiting obviously can get to your head sometimes. Like especially the last game against South Korea, we had to wait an extra
half an hour,
45 minutes for kickoff, because of the delay of the lightning alert and all that. So, you know, the waiting obviously can get to your head sometimes, but like Joel said, over the years, you know, playing and all that, you start maturing and growing up, you start to learn how to overcome it and all that type of stuff, and not to really overthink too much. Even though for me, I personally feel like I like to really reflect as a player all the time, and I'm always thinking of how I can be better, or whatever, what I can do to be better. So like thinking obviously can get your head, like Joel said, in the tunnel. That's when when you're waiting to walk out and to see all the fans and all that, and sing the national anthem, especially when it's an international game. That's when it gets really like you say, okay, it's about to happen. It's about to start. But of course in the changing room, we're all listening to music. I always see Joel in his little corner playing chess.
Hey, what?
And I've learned, you see, this guy, that's how he's so intelligent, so smart, Just playing chess, to warm up the mind.
Okay,
don't class, Joel.
Wow. Don't lip
So yeah, in changing room, we all talk, we all relax, we get ready, we tape up, we get a massage done and all that. So yeah, I think over the years you start getting experience in how to deal with all these type of things. But of course, with football, nerves come in, and it's good, like Joel says. But when the game starts, you just have to push that aside and just focus. So yeah.
Sorry, I just want to zoom in on one thing you said. Singing the national anthem, for me, it's surreal. Like, I'm so tempted to whip my phone out and videotape the whole thing just for Instagram or whatever, right? But just
terrible.
I'm being honest. But
taking the phone out during national anthem.
No, my hand. I'm still standing like said, yeah. But how does it feel, guys? Because I just the emotions of like the week gone by with the fans in front of you singing along with you must be surreal, right? Singing the national anthem.
Yeah. It is surreal. Like especially when we did it at home ground, it's even better with all the fans. Singing the national anthem, them singing along with us. You feel an extra motivation for sure. So we always got to sing with pride and all that. So it's definitely a good feeling, and it's something very surreal. And I think me and Joel are very lucky to be in the position we are, to be able to represent the country and do that. And yeah, like it is a very amazing feeling, and it's really nice.
Guys,
let's talk about.
Sorry, Roshan, I was just going to jump in with a bit of a tactical question, because I was fascinated by this in terms of the setup against Korea Republic. You were playing with a back four the first two games, and then you moved into sort of a back five. It didn't get off to the best starts. And then after that, you switched it up. I think after 2-0, I saw Philip sort of gesture to you guys, pushed Raihan further up forward to play down the right-hand side. Could you explain maybe what was the reasoning behind the change in setup for that particular game against Korea Republic? Jacob,
Joel,
you want to go?
I'll do it. I think Jacob has this. He's always
because I don't know, because Joel has been playing chess, so maybe he's got more of that that tactical insight.
No, because Jacob's our captain, so he's always in conversation with Philip on how we should set up. So that's all.
Go for it.
It's on him.
No, okay. So I think Coach Philip we always had an idea that we might have played five at the back against Korea, because we know their quality. We know their quality. Not as to be more defensive, but it's just for more cover at the back. It's not because we want to sit back and soak pressure. That was never our intention. I mean, going into the game, Coach Philip and Coach Nazri had already said, we're not going to just sit back and let them come at us. We don't want to make things easy for them. We don't want to give like what the other teams were doing. Other teams were like, allowing them to play and all that. We wanted to go out there, get tough with them and show them what we're about, especially at our home ground. We cannot let them, just run riot over us. So I think Coach Philip and Coach Nazri had, we had thought of the five at the back, or the three, and then with the wing backs, because we wanted we knew their threat with their wingers and their fullbacks and all the D runs, the runs behind the back line. So we wanted to so-called counter that with a five back and to provide more coverage for the defense. But obviously, with such little experience playing five back, and we never hardly really worked as a five back, of course, mistakes are bound to happen. Players being caught 1 second, it just takes 1 second, you're out of position, they're through on goal. So and that showed. We came off sloppy, we came off not with a great start, and they pounced on us. And of course Coach Philip then understood the problem. We say that maybe the covering was not there, and we saw that they were overloading the sides, causing that. I mean, that's their threat, the sides. Them coming down the wings and crossing, and beating our fullbacks, or making their runs behind. So we changed to a 4-back to try and countered that again, because I guess at the end of the day we were all more confident, and not say more confident, more comfortable in a fallback, because we had been playing that for the past 2 games. So I think you know, 2-0 down, we changed it, but obviously it was a little too late. You know, when going 2-0 down against this type of teams, it's very, very tough to come back at all, because they're so strong and all that.
Let's move on to Coach Philip and Coach Nazri. Joel, I'll come to you for this. What's your relationship, or what's their relationship like, rather, with the squad, in terms of some of the players, obviously, through the Young Lions, but there are also external club players coming in. So what's their role with the squad?
I think they're very. I think Coach Philip is more of the approachable one. So like you normally ask him like, what's the problem, or like what are we gonna do for the next game, for example. While Coach Nazri is more of like the head of everything. Like Philip confirms with Nazri in the sense. I think they work in tandem in that sense. So so I think Coach Philip heads of the training sessions, so he takes charge of the training sessions. So, but I think they always work in pair. They are always on the same page in terms of tactics and the playing philosophy that they want to instill on us. So yeah, I think that's ultimately their roles in the team, and they make it very, they make us very united in a sense. They're always making sure that all of us are, each and every one of us are okay and feel like we're included in the team. So I think it's good. They work well as coaches.
And in terms of playing personnel, we talk about the coaches and the relationship you guys have with them, right? But what about the squad itself? How do you guys, you spend some time together throughout the season, then there are external players coming in. What's the atmosphere like in the dressing room?
I think most of us already knew one another. So like there wasn't really much problems in the sense where club players came to join us, especially like Saifullah, Adam, and Farhan and Ryan. So all of them, Ryan, we were ex-teammates, and Farhan, we talked here and there, as with Saifullah and Adam. Yeah, so I don't think there was any problems as a team, especially, if anything, they added more quality in the sense. Yeah, so I think it was good.
Jacob, you agree with that as captain of the squad?
No, of course. You know, when, you know, of course, Young Lions, we are so-called, we're all together all the time, you know, obviously, and all this other stuff. But like the additions, Saifullah, Adam, you know, Ryan and Farhan, you know, I think we all Singapore is so small. Everyone knows everyone. You know, somehow, somewhere you know everyone. You know, so there's nowhere, oh, I've never seen you before, I've never heard of you before. You know, everyone knows everyone, you know. Somewhere you have talked to him or something. But I think I felt this team was really united. You know, I think everyone at the same day, you know, when you all come together and play for Singapore, you know, I think all of you have one goal in mind, and that's to do the nation proud, and that's to go onto the field and fight. So I think, it was good. You know, obviously having the additions, you know, Farhan is a very good player. I saw also your comments about him, about how it reminds you of Faris Ramli. You know, of course, you know, so he's a top player. Saifullah, Adam, you know, LCS, you know, starters, you know, quality, and Ryan as well, you know, very good centre back, you know, and it's good. We added quality, and you know, I think the national team is like that. You know, all players come from everywhere, and you come together and you unite together and you try to achieve one thing, which is to either win or, you know, make the country proud.
Well said. All right, let's talk briefly then about the SPL season with Young Lions. Since you talked about Young Lions, you know, it's finished bottom of the league, but they're actually, I know there were a number of people who were actually quite impressed with individual performances in the team and some of the team performances, you know, against some of the other sides in the league. If you guys were to sort of look back and reflect on that campaign, what would your assessment of the season be? Jacob, let's start with you.
So for me, okay, I came in midway through the season, obviously, because of NS and all that. But, you know...
And you come in, suddenly the form turns around, huh?
No. It's not me.
Come in and shake it, wow.
Wow, you want to go at me, bro?
Right, sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No, but so yeah, I came in mid-season. Obviously,
Yes.
I think this year for me, Young Lions was, obviously being out with NS was for 6 months or about 5 months was tough. Coming back in. So obviously, I was using this time to gain game time and to try and get sharp for obviously this AFC under 23. So but as a season, I think to be honest, the Young Lions this year, I think we surprised a lot of people. I think we surprised a lot of people, and it was good because the way we played this year under Coach Philip was very insistent on the philosophy he wanted. And I think that was very good because he made sure every player understood how he wanted to play or how the Singapore philosophy was. And we, even no matter what opponent we played against, Albirex or LCS, we always stuck to that plan.
Yeah.
No matter what, we did not change. We wanted to play possession-based football, proactive, we pressed them. And, I think it showed in our performances, especially in the later part of the season. Like, we were LCS, we lost 2-1. Albrecht, we lost 1-0. But that game against Albrecht really stuck with me because I think we never hear a side, especially like Young Lions, keeping, I think I thought the stats was 60% possession or 65% possession against the Albrecht side. You never see that. Yeah, I don't think you've seen that in the past 4 or 5 years. It's always Albrecht keeping more of the ball.
Yeah.
So, it is a positive, but at the end of the day, possession doesn't win you games as well. But at the same time, it gives us a better opportunity to win the games because when you have the ball and the opponents don't have the ball, they can't score. It's simple as like that. So, but I think at the end of the day, Young Lions this year, I think we proved a lot of people wrong. Of course, every year there's always that doubt. Young Lions, walkovers. Inexperienced boys, young boys. Just there to fill the numbers in the league. But I think this year, I think everyone, respected us and we put up respectable results and performances against top teams. So I think I could never say I'm not proud of the boys and what we showed. It was really good.
Yeah, plus Joel went all viral with his step over in the game against Balestier.
No.
Disrespectful, in my opinion.
Disrespectful. I don't know, man.
It's all part of the game.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Third Suck used to do that a lot. I remember playing with Third Suck. I don't know if you guys know Third Suck Chaiman, but he used to do that a lot. Yeah. So I always say my teammates used to get it. I always say, hey, where are you going? To the shop or what? So, part and parcel of the game, man. We need entertainment. We need entertainers.
Of course, it was good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to go viral in a sense.
Actually, a question on that, Joel. How do you make it look so easy when you send the guy to the shop? Like like Roshan said. I mean, Roshan meant it maybe half jokingly on Twitter when he said you make it look like street soccer, but you do make it look like street soccer, bro. What? How?
Joel Chew, man. He's that good.
No. Look at this guy. He's chatting nonsense. I'm not quite sure. I think just from when I was young, I think you always just love to play on the streets. So that's where majority we started out, like just under the block, just kicking a ball. So I think over the years, you just try to brush out your game and try to make it better as you grow older, because there's non-stop improving in the game of football. So I don't know if I make it look that easy to you guys, but it doesn't. It's years of hard work, I think, and years of practice and doing the same things over and over again to make sure you perfect your craft in the type of player that you want to be. So yeah, I think it's some people have it, some people don't. So I guess I'm lucky to be one of those that on the better side.
Oh gosh. Let's move it on to NS. I need to talk about NS. And Jacob, you touched on it earlier. Young Lions, there's this reputation of possibly being whipping boys or something like that. But I don't think people realize explicitly that you boys are going through national service while playing professional football, and something that is immensely hard to do. So do you feel the local boys then in the team deserve more credit?
No, I mean, you could say we deserve more credit, but of course, how do I say it like this? But like it is tough. No doubt it's tough. Like you said, having to juggle NS and football at the same time is not easy, and it disrupts your preparation. For instance, I felt this AFC 23 under 23 could have been for me, could have been a much better tournament for me if I had done a proper preseason. Because you can't prepare for a tournament 10 days before. You prepare a tournament for the whole year. The whole preparation started from January. So obviously, having that, of course, you could say we deserve more credit for what we do. But I mean, we are in a sense, we're already lucky to be able to do what we do. Be able to come out to train and all that and play football. We're more than lucky, I think, rather than staying in camp all the time.
Of course,
coming out for that 2 hours to train. I think we're very lucky, and I think we're in a good position. As there are players out there that in NS who can't play when they're in NS because of certain vocations and all that. So I think we are lucky with the position we are in. Of course, at the same time, I feel like, of course, you can always say, due to NS, we cannot really perform to our standard or up to the mark we want to. We can't use that as an excuse, or we can't say that, we're tired or that. We just play the game and we give whatever we can. At the end of the day, we try our best, and I think that's what's most we can do.
See lah, talk about NS only, the line got cut off.
Exactly. It's a sign. We shouldn't talk about it.
It's a sign.
Okay, guys. I want to, there's been news recently and over the last couple of years. So players like Ben Davis, Harry Birtwistle, they've had opportunities to pursue their careers overseas. They've renounced their citizenship, evaded national service. Do you guys have any opinions on the path that these players have sort of chosen? Joel, start with you.
I think they're doing what's best for them career-wise. You might think it's selfish or whatever, but I think in life you only live once. So I think in my opinion, they are just chasing their dreams, and they're just trying to make a career out of something that they love, I think. So sure, it sucks for them to not be able to ever come back to Singapore, which is our home country, well, to most of us Singaporeans. Yeah. So but in my opinion, I think they're just going for what they love and what they want to do in life. So yeah.
Jacob, you're not going to escape, man. I want to get your thoughts as well on this.
No, I mean, it's like Joel said, and me and Joel know Ben. We grew up with Ben. We played with him since we were 12, 11 years, 10 years old, 7 years old, something like that. And we knew him for so long, and I think when you're in the position they are in, they are already at a position where, in a sense, how do I say it? They're already in the Premier League side, top English side, and you know how much 2 years does to a footballer.
Of course,
of course, and with them having to come back to serve NS, that opportunity can just slip away. And of course, the renounce and everything, having said, you can never come back to Singapore and all that, you can never play for Singapore again. Obviously, it is a decision they make, and like Joel said, it's for their career. If they have to do it, they have to do it. For whatever reason, you just respect it and you just understand, and it's just like, yeah, okay. I mean, look at Ben. He's at Oxford, and this Harry is at Wolves. Respectable clubs in England, and they're trying to make their career out of it.
Is there sort of a feeling of bitterness perhaps amongst players of your generation? I don't know if that's the right word, but maybe thinking that
I would say bitterness. No. There's never no hard feelings. No hard feelings.
Okay.
No hard feelings. They made that decision, and if they have to do it, they do it. I think never. I still keep in contact with Ben. I still talk to him here and there. So no hard feelings. He's always telling me that he wished me good luck for the tournament. I wish him good luck for his tournament as well with Thailand. And I think there's no hard feelings. He did what he needs to do, and you just respect it, and you wish the best for them.
Yeah, I on my part, I just wonder if there was more that could be done to support athletes in that way. Maybe sort of. I don't want to put this on you guys because I know you don't want to say anything that will get you all in trouble. So I'll say it because I'm done with national service and everything. I'm getting on now. So I just wonder if there could be a bit more done in terms of maybe giving granting deferments and things like that up to a certain age. But okay, look, that's a discussion for Parliament, I guess, and for people who know a lot more about this than me.
We might be interrupted by another call if we continue this conversation, guys. So let's tread quite carefully, shall we?
All right, should we quickly move on then?
Yes, I think we should. And let's look ahead. Let's look ahead, Jacob. You've been playing for the Young Lions now, and once you're done with national service, where do you see yourself headed?
I mean, for me, I think a lot of people know. I've always made it clear, especially me and Joel always talk about our future. I want to leave Singapore and play overseas as soon as possible. You know, I want to venture outside of Singapore. I want to go to regions around, even Europe if possible. And I want to improve and better my skills. You know, of course, you know, you could say, oh, I want to play in SPL. I wouldn't say SPL is not a good league.
Yeah.
But you know, the level it's not there yet, I feel, in my opinion. And for me, the only way to really improve, to really better myself, is to get out and go and explore the world and go through challenges and play against tougher opponents, tougher sides. And that's for me. Then I can really improve. So I think for me, hopefully, if everything goes well, you know, I can go out of Singapore and play somewhere abroad. That's the main goal for me.
2 questions for you, just to carry on, follow up on that. Where would you say is your best position? Central defense or central midfield? That's the first question, a 2-parter. So remember the first question. The second question is, do you have a sort of a dream plan in terms of, let's say, okay, I'm going to move to Thailand. After that, I'm going to go to the J League, and after that, I'm going to try like Europe or something. Is that something that you dream of or think about?
Okay. So regarding the first question.
First question, position first.
Center back or center mid? For me, I know it sounds so cliche. It's like, no matter if the coach needs me to play center back, I'll play center back. If the coach needs me to play center mid, I'll play center mid.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a personal preference.
Okay.
Of course, you know, recently I've been playing, over the past, I guess, 2 years, I've been playing center back. Obviously, I started as a center mid.
Yeah.
When I was 18, coming into Young Lions, but the coaches had moved me down to center back for whatever reason, and I feel comfortable in both positions. I feel I can do the job in both positions, and I guess I remember you were having the conversation with Coach Fidaus. I listened to that the other day. When you have the versatility to play both positions, it's very good for yourself. You know, when you can play both, it's good. It adds an added I guess bonus
added value.
Added value for yourself. So, you know, being able to play both positions, and you know, I feel I can do the job. So it is good for me. But if I have a preference, I can't have a preference. I don't really have a preference between the two. You know, I'll just play whatever I get. As long as I'm on the field, I'm all right. So,
okay, part two now.
Part two.
Do you have
a dream for me? Is just, I would say I would love to go to Europe to play. Anywhere in Europe, I'll be more than happy. But I wouldn't say I have so-called dream, like, oh, I want to go here, then I go here to go there.
Okay.
As long as I get to
I
plan, you know, to go to Japan, then I go to Manchester United.
Because you know why I asked that? Because when I was younger, I used to think of all these things, you know. So I'd have like a career path for myself. Obviously, I was shit. None of this ever happened, right? But I used to think, like, as a young kid, I'll be like, okay, you know, I'll go to, like, I'll play in the Eredivisie because Ajax, PSV, they're known for developing young players, you know, and then I'll move on to, like, you know, maybe I'll move on to Liverpool in England, and you know, after that, when I'm 28, 32, I'll choose between Barcelona or Real Madrid, and then I'll come back and play in Asia, you know, winding down the career. But look, I'm here now, sitting in my home, so obviously none of that ever happened.
Joel, I'll come to you, Jacob, very quickly. How often do you then speak to Agent Iksan?
Agent Iksan. No. I mean, he's like one of my best friends. You know, I talk to him almost every day. We're keeping intact. I guess, you know, he's always talking to me, checking up on me, and I'm doing the same to him, because I think whatever he has done, you know, I wouldn't say I would aspire to do what he's done, but like he has taken the step towards for Singapore football, going to Europe to make a name. You know, it's something I admire he has done. You know, even though people don't know the sacrifices, the hardships he has gone through. You know, it's not easy being in his position. You know, being him. You know, living on his own. You know, being out in Norway by himself in a country you have no familiarity at all with. You don't know the language. You know, it's difficult for him. And you know, I'm always there for him. I try my best to be there for him, to talk to him all the time. Nice. But Agent Iksan, I don't know. Who knows what the future holds. You know, you never know. You never know.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Agent Iksan, he mentioned you guys when we spoke to him on the pod. We asked him, you know, which of you guys could go on and make that move to Europe, and he spoke a lot about y'all, man. I know he mentioned Jacob, he mentioned you, he mentioned Joel as well. You know, two of you guys, you've got You got good recommendations coming from over there. man.
Exactly. And for those of you listening in, check out Iksan in the playlist while you're at it. Sorry, I just had to.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
to
course,
go,
he had
go,
to. Of
Go
course, he had
ahead.
to.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah.
Joel, we'll come to you, Joel. I'm assuming it's back to Tampines Rovers for you after Wardy?
Yeah, because I still have a existing contract with them. Because Jacob doesn't have because he's been with Young Lions throughout. So
All the
I
way,
don't
huh?
think he has. Yeah,
Loyal,
so he doesn't have. Yeah, so he doesn't have. Like he's not say tied down, but he doesn't have a obligation to be with any Singapore club. Unlike me in the sense. Yeah, but I'm excited to see what happens in the future. Definitely have the same plans as every. Not say I mean we're getting older now, 21. We're entering into our so-called men's age football.
Oh, wow. You say getting older, you say 21. You hurt my feelings, man.
Yeah, but but I think that every young footballer in Singapore I think the greatest goal is just to be able to apply a trade abroad. So that's all of our plans, I think, in the near future, especially. So after ORD, we shall see, man. Let's hopefully I'll have probably like another season or two in Singapore and see whether hopefully I play my best football by that time, and hopefully offers come.
Okay.
Offers come calling.
Before Raushan wraps us up, I just want to say, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with the both of you. And for all the young players that we've spoken to, I think this season, all of y'all come off as really mature, and there's lots of intelligence coming through. So Joel, it's not just you and your chest. Jacob, you've handled yourself incredibly well, and with the questions and all that. Really, really impressive stuff, guys. And I appreciate the insight. And at times you might see me post something a bit negative, but in the background, we're all rooting for you guys to go on and achieve great things.
Thank you so much for having us.
I think the only word Roshan missed out there was ambition, and all the boys who we speak to come up with so much ambition to go further and go abroad. And we're just going to let you go, but Jacob, I have to ask you this because it's the Rated RR podcast. Roshan brought it up before the recording. The second most, when you search your name in Google, the second line that appears. Do you wish to clarify this for us? Jacob Mahler girlfriend, yes or no?
No, I don't have a girlfriend.
No. Okay.
What do you mean, Joel? Like,
I'm just asking.
Jacob, Joel, it's been fabulous speaking to both of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your football. We wish you every success.
Thank you.